want to welcome everybody to the Black Lounge Talks. This is a stream where we'll be telling our viewpoints or whatever subject matter that we feel like, what we feel, how we feel. So everybody who listens to this, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today specifically. Matter of fact, before we even get to that, I need everybody to introduce themselves. All right, one at a time. I don't need everybody talking. So introduce yourselves.
You want governments or
No, whatever you wanna,
bias?
whatever you wanna call yourself, whatever you wanna, if you want people to follow it, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, let's put that out there.
I ain't put my Instagram out there. I got too much shit up there. Niggas see, but I guess cause I'm chatting. Killick is the account name here. That's from my Final Fantasy 14 days. I am a weeb. I own that. BJ is what we gonna be calling me, cause don't you dare call me
Niggas
Killick.
is
I
not
put
dick.
bars on you. Can I say my shit? God damn. These niggas interrupting already. Like
Niggas on 10
crabs in a bucket. That's about to listen. Not no more. All right. Not no more.
Go ahead, nigga. Go ahead.
Try to compose myself. All right. It's BJ, gamer, in relationship. I guess we should add that. I don't know. P King, PEKING. BJ is the gamer tag. You want to play some 2K plus jazz? Want to watch nigga get busy on
All right, wrap it up, man.
Per King? That's the goddamn Twitch. I'm done. Per King, BJ. Bye.
Alright, homie. This is Instagram. Michael the Great Jones. Add me.
But you ain't great though.
Nigga, your mom said that last night.
Nigga, you wished you had that, but you didn't.
Anyway,
I know for a
let's
fact.
go, brother.
Exactly.
Wow.
Anyways, nigga, it's the kid. Feel me? AKA sometimes John Woo on the side.
Idiot.
Anyway.
Yeah, if you're trying to find money and get money, hide your boy. You feel me?
Scammer. Anyways, it's Greg here. Instagram, King Greg Robbie. Just like the name right here. Follow me. That's what I'm gonna say.
Pussy ass nigga.
Oh.
We also got my brother in here. I don't know if he gonna be coming back and forth. I don't know him. Yeah, boy 592. He goes by many. He go by many aliases, but I definitely will be calling him Ya Boy 592. So all right, today, today we will be talking about relationships. The overarching question that we are going to get into is men truly the problem in relationships?
Nope. End of the podcast.
Wait. Before we get there, let's have the conversation of, what y'all think, just one thing, what y'all think is the essential part of a relationship, essential part to start a relationship before we even get to the problem. What's the essential part?
Communication.
You want to expand on that, or you just gonna say communication?
I mean, you said just one thing, but communication. Like, if you can't talk to each other, you can't have a relationship.
Okay.
I mean, you can talk, but if you don't trust the other person saying too, trust is important.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
communication and trust.
Okay. So we
I
got.
want to change my answer.
All right. Okay. Go ahead.
Hold on, nah, hear me out. Communication and trust are two big things, but I think the biggest thing is understanding.
All right.
So empathy. Okay, we can add that. The third thing, empathy. So empathy, communication, trust.
Also, you could say they try to build a friendship before you try to get into any real relationship.
Then,
Yeah.
Some boys and girls, right?
Having
Friends
those real
before
friends.
lovers.
Yeah.
I definitely that's one thing I definitely was going to say. I definitely agree that before we even get into trusting one another, communicating and things like that, you have to build a friendship. I personally feel like once you start building a true friendship, not a friendship based on where you trying to go, but a true friendship. So you can already understand how the person is and understanding what they do, how they are, how they treat you, and how they react. So I could definitely agree on that.
And don't try to rush into the sex. Try to build it. Really try to get to know a person. You know, these niggas nowadays just wanna fuck. So I'm too old for this shit now. This pussy means I'm a one. I'd rather build friendship and build relationship first. Cause niggas getting old. Real shit.
If you you could talk a little bit closer to your mic, Emma, just a little bit closer.
Nah, I was saying that like niggas need like really try to get to know the person. They like try to hold out like that sex situation. Because a lot now, like this generation nowadays, all they want to do is
Yeah.
like every time I go out, I can tell you right now, every time I go out to the club and all that shit, bitches want. That's all you see, bitches with lust and eyes and all that crazy shit. Like niggas need to really settle down and try to get to know the person first. That's how I feel like.
Also, I would say, one thing I never hear people really say too much. I would say people need to leave expectations and what somebody does for other people out of the situation for them. For instance, like, I'm gonna just use women for example. A woman may be looking for a man that is a provider, a protector, all those things and qualities, which are great qualities to look for. But don't just look at those qualities of how he treats his family or whatnot. Make sure he's doing those qualities for you. If and vice versa for men. If that woman is not doing the qualities that you want her to do for you, but she may be doing it for somebody else, I don't mean, that may not necessarily mean that she's going to do that for you. So those are
True.
those are one thing that I would definitely say, like we need to watch out for. Anybody got anything else they want to add or anything as far as that?
Also too about like don't dwell on the past. Like, oh, this nigga hurt me, so yada yada. Can't trust these niggas because you're not giving another nigga a chance to grow with you or build a legacy with you.
Okay.
But then you be like, oh no, this nigga fucked me, blah blah, left me, and then you're gonna do the same thing. Watch. I give it 8 months. I give it this month. So you don't know. You just gotta give that person a try. Cause you don't know. Like, oh, yeah, I could dog you if I wanted to, but that's not the case. That's not.
So you're saying you should roll the dice on your ass?
Yes.
Because DJ, you got history, my nigga. But I ain't gonna say that.
How I got history?
Well, we're not going into that. We're not about to go into that. We not.
Let me expand on. No. Let me expand on my brother. I don't got a gun.
Wait, listen. We're not going into personal history. We're not. There's no need to expand. There's no need to expand on anything. But I get what you're saying.
Expand on what he was saying.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. If you want to expand on it.
You are correct. His dwelling on the past isn't good, but I think we can all agree to this. We can all say that, but we've all seen how hard it is for some people to give up the past. That shit scars you.
Yeah, I definitely
kind of keeps molding you to who you are moving forward.
But not just that. Not even that. It does scar you, but it could scar you to a point and scar you so deep that people don't even know that they are scarred. They don't know that they still have these issues and problems. So many things be so deep in people's subconscious. This is why I always believe therapy is good. We need to stop. People as society need to stop downplaying therapy, because therapy helps bring out those problems that you never even knew there was problems. A lot of women, I feel a lot of times, especially with the whole quote unquote savage movement, especially as far as women and things like that, you just afraid to love again. You've been hurt and you've been scarred before, and you're so afraid to love that now you quote unquote a savage, and you know, it ain't. If you really a savage, there's no need to say it. A lion don't gotta say it's a lion. Y'all know, everybody know it's a lion. Like, so a lot of times people are just so subconsciously scarred that they don't even know that the past is a problem. But that is a big thing there too, dealing with that past. That was a good point. I definitely agree with that. No.
But so here's the thing. You're right also, but like, where's the issue in that? I could say to somebody, you gamble too much. You're spending your rent, your baby's milk money, all that messed up stuff, or you drink too much. You put pause on your wife and your kids and all that. If I could tell you, you gotta go and get help because you fucked up. But if you don't know it, you know, you ain't going nowhere. And you might go, but all that money you spend to going, like, it's onus on the person who is scarred to seek that help and know they need it, and then accept it when they get it. Because if you don't, you just put in a band-aid on a 30-inch gash on your chest, and then your heart's halfway out your body, and then you do nothing.
That's a fact. I can relate to it because I even took therapy for my anger. And y'all know me since I was kids. I had a bad anger problem. Always getting locked up, getting banged, and doing dumb shit. So I can really relate about that. That therapy really truly helped. It took me a while to give in. You know, be more mature enough to, like, you know what, I do need to seek help, but I definitely agree with that. Like, so much.
Yeah, but that's the first step. You know, you have to admit that you got a problem. You know, a lot of people don't admit that they got a problem. A lot of people don't even know that they have a problem. And that's...
I was one of them. I didn't even know I had a problem. So I used to try to sit down and realize, like, I'm bugging.
All right. So being that we got all these good ideas, all these things established for, you know, how we should go into relationships, let me ask, what do you think is usually the main issue in relationships?
Trust.
So you think the first problems in relationship usually revolves around trust, something?
Yeah, this generation nowadays, everybody thinking the game played, so it's trust. That's the one thing. Everybody think the game played, so everybody want to be on that heartless shit. So you can't really put your whole trust in somebody because you don't know what they're doing behind your back. You already know. You could say you talking to one person, but the next person got somebody else talking behind your back. You know how many females nowadays got next nigga waiting online?
Yeah,
just waiting for the fuck up.
He is waiting with a smile.
Okay. So
heartless shit is a real trend right now. Like, seriously.
So you think
everyone's following it?
So you think that's like one of the main issues in a relationship, or just
disagree?
Okay, let's hear it. Why?
I'm just saying because, like, for an example, me, I can understand trust being an issue, but it's not trust per se. It's more of like overthinking things. Like, you can't.
Multiple?
It is multiple, and I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer. I just say I disagree because you can have all these trust issues, but that doesn't really. What's going on, Jay? That doesn't really. I don't know how to even put it, really.
That shouldn't stop you to have a decent relationship. Basically.
Exactly.
Is all that matters is, like, you can not trust me, but then in the back of your mind you're like, oh, well, yeah, he's doing good. He's treating me right. He's giving me flowers every day. He's picking me up from work. You know, he helped me pay bills. Back in my mind, I'm like, oh shit, he could be doing the same thing to Denise down the block, my cousin, or even my sister, but that I don't even know.
But wouldn't that be a trust issue though? Like,
that's kind of crazy.
Ain't that overthinking really ultimately a trust issue?
It's both. It's like for me, for example, like, I could be a great guy, stuff like that, but then I find a girl like, okay, she doing good. She paid her bills sometimes. Credit looking right.
Hold on. What was the original question?
The original question was, what do you think like usually causes the first problems or causes problems just in general in relationships?
I think it's communication
Yeah, communication
because
trust.
people don't like people don't like to talk to the point where it's like I did something wrong and you don't want to tell me because you don't feel like talking.
Okay.
Like, and then that leads into trust issues because it's like, okay, so if he don't care to talk to me, that means he got some other bitch he talking to. Because he don't want to sit here and talk to me and fix the issue. So he must be entertaining someone else. But in all actuality, I don't know something's wrong because you didn't tell me something was wrong.
Okay.
I'm gonna add something to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, am I even talking? Okay, I am bad. I was official talk. So, like, jumping on what Michael was saying about agreement of it could be multiple things. It kind of seems like it's just the human condition. Like, human beings have issues. We're gonna be born with issues. Things are just gonna come out of going through life, school, falling off that bike, whatever. Somebody stole your lunch money. Like, things just form who we are and how we think. Most of us go from being very positive, very happy people to, say around puberty, we become more nihilistic and just pessimistic and a bit more, we're not who we were when we were our best, let's say. So maybe all this stuff is just born out of the people that society turns us into as we get older. And then things like trust issues and communication issues and just a little bit of craziness is just born out of the human condition of just going from someone's angel to that nigga on the street who's just doing some shit.
Okay, so you saying
all
like
those things are real, but like it's probably a little bit deeper. Like they're born out of just the fucked up things that society does to us,
okay.
and we do to ourselves, and to just people do to people, and then we become these creatures that just inherently, or I guess conditioned to create these issues in our lives, like not trusting our partner even though we chose to be with them, or not want to talk to our partner even though we chose, because you're not in a relationship unless you choose to be with that person. So if you choose to be with that person, it was your choice, yet you're undermining it with the certain thing.
Okay, so pretty much you are a product.
I agree with everybody, and I just went a little deeper.
Yeah, you're pretty much saying that you're a product of everything that you've been through, everything you've been around, everything you've gone on. All right, I mean, I respect that. Those are definitely good things. So most, like, everything piles up and they create all these issues and things like that. But me personally, I believe communication and trust are definitely big problems. But I feel like communication and trust are problems that come from a main problem. And I think for me personally, especially seeing people, the situations they go through, of course we all got friends or we all been through it ourselves. I think the main problem comes down from expectation versus reality. And expectations may be what, like I alluded to earlier, you see that this man may be a protector with his family, but not you. Expectations could be what's going on in the world as far as relationships, like you see the Jay-Z's and Beyonce's, or this is the school that if you in school, this is the school sweetheart group and whatever, and this is the relationship they have and things like that. Everybody has an expectation of how a relationship's supposed to be, and how their relationship's supposed to be, and how their significant other's supposed to be, versus the reality that this person is their own individual person. I personally love to say I'm never, even though I'm with somebody, I'm never looking for anybody to complete me, because I'm already a completed human being. So if you're trying to get the expectation of a person that is I want that significant other to be the part that completes me and I complete him, you're not going to get that out of me, because I'm never looking for a woman to fill any empty spot in my life. Because if I have an empty spot, that's a problem. I'm looking for a woman to come into my life and build on what I already have established, or what
That's why you gotta
areas.
seek happiness
Yeah,
in itself, bro.
and that's also what the problem is. People generally aren't inherently happy with themselves and who they are. And if you are seeking in a relationship for that significant other to be your happiness, that's a problem. I'm happy and good all by myself. So all you come through and do is be extra happiness. A lot of times, especially in women, a lot of times you're looking for that significant other to be your happiness. So when he fucking up, you ain't happy no more. If he becomes your all, so when he ain't around, you don't got nothing. And that it shouldn't be like that. And I feel like that's what becomes the problem. People forget their individuality and their significant other's individuality in a relationship. A relationship is always two people coming together. It's not a person fusing to become one person. Nobody's out here Gogeta. No relationship is Gogeta. Like, it's one and one together. It's not one and one equals one.
Love yourself always.
Who playing 2K? What?
Really? I'm wondering what is he talking about, and then I remember I heard the sticks too. Yeah, somebody playing it.
Right? Like,
I heard the sticks.
So yeah, that's what that's what I feel. You know, people expectations versus reality is through the roof, and people truly ain't happy with themselves. If you ain't happy with you, you can't be in a relationship. I'm sorry, you can't be in a relationship if you're not happy with you. If you don't like the person you see in the mirror, how you gonna like somebody else?
You're right, but we ain't got no laws where the cops could bust a nigga head up for doing that. So he's toxic. I'm just saying. You know, the only time you can almost guarantee something to happen is when you put legislation behind it. But since this is a kind of, we live in a country where freedoms are supposedly the norms, even though you go to jail, you a slave, but whatever, you know, some things just can't be done.
Yeah, now I understand what you're saying, but I'm just trying to you know, of course, keep the talks open, just so anybody who's watching and just get maybe try to take them to themselves.
You're
like,
educating people.
I feel like, you know, so many people wonder why their relationship ain't working or their relationships ain't working, and they're like, they don't understand that they're not happy. And if you're not happy, your relationship isn't going to go well. You have to understand that you have to be happy first. It can't always be somebody else. Sometimes you gotta look back and say, you know what did I do? You know, or what did I do? Or if you always the blame, that's somebody that's not taking accountability for the actions that they do, you know, or what they contribute. So, being that we're saying these things, now we're gonna get into the juicy part.
Here we go.
We get juice.
We getting into the juicy. We was just at the beginning of the steak. Now we in the middle, the juice pocket.
Yeah, we got the juicy fruit. Gotcha.
We in the juice pocket. You know, we getting into it now.
Gotcha.
Now let me ask. And before you just give a regular answer, because somebody already gave their answer, before you just give an answer, I want you to expound on it a little bit. When problems are going on, because we constantly hear who are the problems in a relationship, are men always the problem?
no.
I just said don't give me a basic answer. You saying no? Why you say that?
Because you gotta look at it. It's two sides to a coin. It's not like, it's you. Bitch, no, it's you too. Like, you gotta pick up the slack. That's how I want to pick up the slack. It's like, let's say if I, fuck up and, lost my job and stuff like that, and I'm trying, you just like, fuck you then, bitch, ass nigga, like, you can't find a job, you can't fuck me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bitch, no, like, you can't fuck me. Like, I'm trying my best. Like,
it's two sides to a coin. It's just like if I don't talk to you for a while and you don't talk to me for a while, like bitch, pick up a phone and text me or pick up a phone and call me. Like it's two sides to a coin. It's two sides to the conversation. Like you gotta come and talk to me, just like I gotta come and talk to you. It's not like one way street. Like it's just you. Like no, it's two sides to the coin. So it's not always the guy fault or it's always the guy that's toxic. No, sometimes the bitch is toxic too. Cause like sometimes you gotta be like, oh, what is she thinking? What's on her mind? Like why is she sighing for it? Then we gotta solve it like a fucking puzzle. Be like, oh, so this is what you mad because I dropped the bread 2 weeks ago? Like, bitch,
DJ, who hurt you, bro?
Yo, y'all heard how?
Yo, who hurt you, bro? 'Cause, like, I've been trying to listen, but like, I'm kind of scared. Like,
Y'all heard how?
who hurt you, brother?
Y'all heard how my man
Oh
said
my
that
God.
bitch word? Like he said bitch.
Yo.
Like I felt that. That man
really
felt
hurt.
that. That man felt that. But I agree with you. I do agree with you. You know. And of course, to the viewers, whoever watches, whoever comes in the chat, of course, we are not talking about the men that are out there cheating, just doing you dirty or whatnot. We're not talking about those dudes. If you out there just cheating on a good woman, which we will get into, if you're not out there, if you out there just cheating on good women, something wrong with you. We're talking about just two people. There's two people, not like this man out here sleeping with 13 side bitches, got two side. Basically, we ain't talking about Future. We not talking about Future.
we're not talking about Will Chamberlain either.
We
But
kind of talking about Will. We kind of talking about Will.
What happened? But I say yes or no.
Yes or no to what?
that men
Oh,
are.
Lord.
Wait, hold on.
I disagree too, but I'ma wait.
Hold on, let him talk. You saying yes or no far as men are the problem and aren't the problem? Is that the way you say? Yeah, and men not the problem.
Yes.
All right, why you say that? I want to hear him speak.
Okay, how do I put this? Okay, it depends on what the problem is,
Okay, yeah, of course.
and come back to me, because I have a lot. Come back to me.
So why did
No,
Okay.
speak it. If you got a lot,
Yeah, you gotta speak your point,
Speak-
bro.
yeah,
You took lead.
you
gotta keep
took
your point.
center
I mean,
stage. You
I'll
out here.
usurp him.
No, you can't
you don't wanna,
usurp.
I got
You
something to say.
can't
Okay.
usurp. He took the stage. He got to talk. I need him to talk.
All right. Okay. They know my history. Report. Yes, because we never confront what the problem is. We're just quiet about it. They're all prideful and all macho and shit. Like we ain't doing nothing, bro. None of that we did. And no, because maybe she started the whole thing, and she's just blaming it on you, which messes your head up, and you're just thinking that I'm not the problem, it's you. So it's like what Kid said. It's both sides.
Okay. All right. I guess I kind of get where you're going. I'm gonna come back to you though because I feel like you missing
I need
some stuff.
elaboration.
Yeah, he
I don't
misses.
get it.
I'm gonna let him collect his
I need
thoughts.
elaboration.
Wait, hold up. I'm gonna let him collect his thoughts because he missed. Huh?
Full answer.
Nah, we gonna come back.
Nigga, I need the equation.
You since you wanna usurp people, you jump in now. It's your turn to talk. You got to send the stage, Jazz, brother.
Oh, okay. I think I understand what you're trying to say. Let me know if I'm right, but I'm just gonna shoot some shots, even though I don't have a gun. Okay. So, you're saying all can be found in both sides, either female, male, male, female, transgender, cis, transgender, transgender. Is that correct? Am I in a warm
We're
area?
not bringing up all of them niggas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going.
So, I think it just comes down to we're humans. Perfection is an impossibility for our species, for probably any living thing. Nothing that lives can be perfect because all energy is spent and we all die.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
You can't be held responsible if she messes up and starts fucking your head up. All you can do if it comes is, as long as you are honest with yourself and your actions. This day, this, that. I fucked up doing this. In my opinion, it's not that fucked up. But she says I fucked up with this situation walking in on her and Randy. And this nigga Randy, I don't know him. That's my bad. Now maybe I fucked up doing something. That don't mean you go to Randy. Fuck Randy.
Okay, so
That's it.
you're pretty much saying that. Oh, you got more to say?
Everybody can be wrong. You don't get to justify an act, an evil, by saying, well, you did this, I felt this way about it, so I'm gonna go do this. If that's how we're doing things, then we live by the mantra of an eye for an eye. And like we all heard Mr. T say, an eye for an eye, make everybody blind. The same.
All right. So you pretty much saying that it's not inherently anybody's fault. It depends on the situation. But just because it may be
Fault
the other
can be
person's
found
fault,
anywhere.
yeah. But fault, with it being fault, you don't then go and get even, pretty much.
Yeah, because there are people like if I had a bomb ass breakfast and by 1 o'clock I'm just sporting, there are people out here just willing to take your life for that. That's the same level. That's equivalent exchange.
Yeah,
No,
I get what you're saying.
like that's how you feel. You need to look internally and fix your fucked up life. Talking about killing somebody for farting out some bacon, some goddamn grits. But it ain't the same level. Like you ain't gotta do some shit like that. You crazy fuck.
All right. Mike, you here? Well, Mike, if you here, what do you got to say? I'm gonna give you like 5 seconds to say something if you don't say nothing. Well, all right. What?
Hello?
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, he ain't gonna say
You hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's no. I don't agree.
Go ahead, speak your piece, brother.
Nah, because like I'm gonna keep it real with you. Hello, you hear me? Y'all guys hear me?
Yeah, you good.
I feel like no, it's not always the guy's fault. Sometimes, yes, it is because men are very. I said this, and this is how it is,
Okay.
and we don't like think twice about it. Which I can, I can say sometimes that does happen. And females are very sensitive creatures, whether they like to admit it or not. They are. But women, I'm about to lose a lot of viewers for this. Women,
No, speak your piece.
women are just like I said a little earlier. It's you did something. I'm not gonna say that you did something, but I'm just gonna have an attitude with you.
Okay.
And it's like,
Hello, Michael.
hello?
He was.
Hold on. I got this.
No, you don't got this.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Come out and play. You there, Michael?
What's wrong?
What's some more? Alright, I'm gonna stop.
What's-
Nah, this connection out here.
Okay.
But yeah, what part didn't you hear?
We had you had said that women tend to have a problem, but they won't say it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and like I said, you can get mad at me, but I feel what I did wasn't that deep. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like for an example, you can get mad at me for a female looking at me, and I didn't even notice it. But you're mad at me because she looked at me. Whose fault is that? It's not mine.
You should have been ugly, bro. That's
You know what I'm saying?
that's your fault. You should be ugly.
I should be this ugly.
You
Like,
should be
that's-
ugly.
And that's the thing. We get blamed for stuff that we can't even control, yet we're supposed to be able to control it.
Okay.
And then if we finally speak up about how we feel, we're wrong. Or you shouldn't have said it this way. I'm expressing myself, so I'm going to say it how I say it.
Okay. I definitely, I'm feeling where you coming from with that. I'm definitely feeling that. Me personally, let me make sure my mind together. What I'm gonna say is, I definitely agree with a lot of points that everybody has said. A lot of things that they said that they brought up. I do agree, though. I don't ever feel like it's just society makes it seem like men are always the problem, always the issue. I do not think men are always the issue, but I won't sit here and say that women are always the issue. I'm putting that right now for all the women, if anybody does watch it, but all the women that might end up saying so. I'm not going to say that all of y'all the problem, because some of y'all are not the problem. Some of y'all are not the problem, and I've used that word loosely, some. But I don't think, and this is for any of the dudes that end up listen, let me get caught. Listen to me, King. You ain't always the problem. Dudes ain't always the problem. A lot of times, women don't want to hear what we have to say. Women can have an issue with everything you do, and like my brother alluded to, a lot of times you as women, y'all have to realize that some issues aren't really that serious to be upset for 3 days about. Sometimes you are the toxic one. Everything ain't that deep. You complain about his like kids say you complain about communication, but are you communicating? A lot of times the issues that you are portraying on somebody else or your significant other are the issues that you have. And the things that you find a problem with is, like we talked about earlier, is issues that you have subconsciously. A lot of times a man does one thing, may do one thing, forget to take the garbage out, but it leads to other problems because you don't understand that deep down you subconsciously have all types of emotions tied to one thing, and that's a problem. That's an actual thing. You can have multiple emotions tied and stemming from one thing, one situation that leads to something else that makes you feel like something else. I don't feel like men are always the problem. It's expectations that a lot of times that is being put on men. Is a lot of feelings that are put on men that aren't really the problems. And then two, for the women who are with ain't shit dudes, because there are a lot of ain't shit dudes, do not get me wrong. Let me speak to y'all directly. You dumb for being with that ain't shit nigga. He ain't changing. Like, stop thinking a man is going to change for you. I'm a man. Last time I checked, I know I am not changing for nobody unless I want to. If that dude is not doing what he is supposed to be doing for you, whether it be loving you the right way or whatever the case may be, the list can go on and on. That man don't never plan to do that for you. Like, stop thinking he will. I don't care how many breakfast baskets you make, how much pies you cook, how much money you give this man. Yeah, breakfast baskets sound fire. Breakfast baskets sound like some heat. But no matter what you do, that will not change. He will not change. Stop giving your all to these dudes that aren't changing, and then you run around with niggas ain't shit and dudes are the problem and all that because you mess with the same dude. And women have a tendency, and this is for women specifically, and I don't really want to sound like I'm women basher, but women have a tendency for looking for so many traits in one person, and when they find those traits, they don't pay attention to the bad traits. We hear you. Yeah. They don't pay attention to the bad traits that man has. Men have a tendency of looking and finding one good trait in multiple different women and keeping them for that one trait. And that's all they were using it for. Sometimes you may be a good woman, but you may be that dude's one good trait. So you are only going to be used for that one good trait. first, before you get to this ain't savage shit, niggas ain't shit mentality, realize who you messing with. And stop messing with the same kind of people. Deal with your issues. So when you do get that good man, you can have a good relationship. That is,
Man,
I
Pastor
think, that's the problem. That is the issue. Men ain't the issue. Women ain't the issue either. The issues are problems that you have, not just society, because society, we put too much on society. You know, when in order to change society, people got to change themselves. You have to fix you first.
Right.
A lot of times we only ever see our side of things. And what I try to do in my relationship, and not just relationship, and friendships too, I try to view a problem from everybody's viewpoint. So I get why you saying things, because it may not make sense to me, but it makes sense to you. And we have to understand that people are their own people. And that may sound crazy to say, but we don't realize that everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own thought process. Everybody has a different way to get an answer. I know everybody can agree to this. Everybody has taken a math test before and have at least one time came to the right answer without using the proper way to solve it. But you done still got the right answer. Everybody got a solution to their own problem. Your solution may not be somebody else's. I feel like, especially in women, women tend to put their viewpoints or how they feel or how things supposed to be done on their significant other, and that may not be how their significant other do it. And this is for the ain't shit niggas now, because I done said a lot about women. This is for the ain't shit niggas. Y'all little bitch ass niggas need to stop messing and ruining these good women. And I mean for the dudes that ain't putting it out there to the girl they messing with, who they talking with, the actual factuals. Let them know. Do not sit there and be promising this woman a relationship and giving them everything a relationship is, and scarring this woman because she found out that you got 12 in the possible.
I gotta stop you right there for a minute, brother.
It's not even, it's promises.
Here we
It's
go.
selling them a dream, my dude. That's
That's promises.
I gotta stop you right there, my brother.
Go ahead, speak.
My brother.
Pastor.
Cause I had a plethora of ladies, and I told them like, yo, I'm not in a relationship mode right now, whatever. So they were like, okay, cool. So then, I took them out on a little date, because sometimes my date be a little high classy to them, but it's whatever. But then I'm like, yo, I'm kind of getting tired of you. I'm not really seeing you in the long term thing, and then I drop it. And then they be like, oh, why you didn't call me back? I'm like, yo, I did not tell you. I'm not in a relationship mode. I'm just trying to see how things are. I got other pieces on my plate. I got a breast on this side. I got some greens on this side. I got a mashed potatoes.
All right, let me stop you there.
Can I say something, please?
Wait, let me, because he reiterated back, and I just want to say this part. Then Michael could go, and I think Biggie got something to say. I'm gonna say what you said is absolutely true, but you did something what I said these bitch ass niggas ain't doing. You let it be known. You wasn't selling a promise. You already let her know. This is what it is.
I have to disagree too, though.
But then they think, I'm like, okay, well maybe if I show them a direction, my direction, if I put in a little.
That has nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with you. If you let Michael go. Let Michael go.
Can I say my point, please? I agree and I disagree, because
who?
You did let it be known, but you still kind of wrong for that.
Okay.
Because you're putting out extra steps that you should do in a relationship. If this is somebody that you don't see yourself being serious with, why go out for a high pricey date? Just saying.
You try about that. I don't go on high pricey
It'd be
dates.
his style, though.
But this is my thing. If this isn't what you want, you shouldn't even be wasting your time or bothering doing something like that, especially if you know the direction somebody wants to go. Because being real with you, I'll say for an example with me, if I don't want a relationship with a person, I'm not taking them on a date. Because why am I doing all of that if I don't want to be with you? Something like a date is the direction of you want to go out with somebody. That's just how I look at it. I'm not saying you're wrong because you did let it be known, but I also have to say you are wrong for doing something like a date because that puts that out there like, hey.
I mean, what I would say to that is I get where you come from. I mean, what I feel is that you have people that who just like to date and it may date casually. I personally feel if you do let it be known that this is what you're doing, and like, yo, we going out on a date, but we going because I like to just be out and you're a cool person to hang out with. Technically, they called that a date, but you let it be known. And if you as a person still decide to mess with somebody after they let you know their intentions, whatever it be, whatever happens, that's on you. That's you decide to walk in there. That's like knowing that this is a trap and you walk into it because you think they ain't gonna trap it on you.
Let me ask you a question though. You listening?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh Jesus. if a person wants that, right?
Yeah.
Why even still bother with them if that's not what you're looking for?
Because you told them and you have an understanding and you just.
I understand, but okay.
Yeah.
Because my thing is this, right? And this is just my opinion, my outlook on it. If I feel this way and you can't meet me halfway, or you're still going to bring up the fact that this is what you want, why even deal with the person at that point?
That's all on personal preference, though.
It is, but I'm just saying, doesn't that make you also in the wrong, though? Because you should be cutting it off.
Not necessarily. I wouldn't say that necessarily.
I mean, my thing is, because think about it like this, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Why don't you just go hang out with somebody else?
But the thing is, what we're saying is if you're not looking to meet anybody, so you're letting these women know that this is what you plan to do. I'm not looking for a relationship. I ain't looking for nothing serious or whatnot. I'm just like to casually date. We could go out, of course, like the fuck or whatnot. If you are fine with that and cool with that, then we can kick it. If you're not fine with that, then we don't have to speak again. If she still chooses to mess with you after that, she a pig in the blanket. Like that's a wrap. Like that's all that is. That's how I look at it. Because you have to understand, like, if you know this other person, because I know you wouldn't stick around to deal with no shorty. She telling you, yo, this is what I do, and this ain't going nowhere, and you looking for a relationship. If you looking for a relationship and somebody is clearly telling you that they're not giving you a relationship, a lot of times women tend to think they're going to change this dude. But this dude is not saying that. He's already letting you know that this is what it's going to be. So if you choose to stay, you just gullible. Like, you just falling into it. Unless that's what you want.
I agree with that, but I also feel it's wrong. Because as the person that is doing that, it's like, just let the person go, because in the long run you're destroying this person.
Yeah, no. But this is what I'm saying.
And once again, I'm not saying that you have to do that. I'm just saying I feel it's wrong to still hang out with a person at that point. That's all I'm saying.
So you're saying if this is how you feel about it, so everybody you decide to chill and hang out with, you're saying that you should have the goal to be with them.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you told this person how you feel, right?
Yeah. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
He did spit again. We'll give him a minute to come back. So what do you think, Elmo? Because you ain't say much in a minute, and you've been over there playing 2K like we don't hear you in the background.
I am not playing 2K. But like
Cuddy, you didn't hear me.
Huh? Nobody heard you.
Everybody else.
Nah, you
Kids
should
at
not.
home.
Nah, you should
We
not,
didn't
bro.
hear you.
I ain't hear you, bro.
Yeah.
I hear you, bro. Okay.
As you were saying, Mike, I'll say
Now,
my part.
I'm just saying, like, I personally feel like, for me, if y'all are just hanging out to hang out, cool. But if you let it be known, hey, I don't want this, but they want something, I feel like it needs to be cut off at that point. Whether the person wants to still hang out with you or not, it needs to be cut off. Because this person is obviously has the mindset that maybe I can change things. I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but I just personally feel like you need to, cut that person off.
All right. So you're saying that if they still want to be with you, you're cutting them off.
Yes, because
Alright.
I don't want that. And I'm not saying that everybody you hang out with, you gotta look to be with them. But if I'm like, yo, I really like you, I want to be with you, and you're like, nah, I don't want that, but I want to hang out. Of course, I'm gonna be like, yeah, let's hang out because I really like you.
Yeah. All
You
right.
get what I'm
No.
saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I wasn't like asking what would we do. I'm just asking, do you if you feel it's right or wrong?
I'm just saying, I feel, me personally, I feel it's wrong to still hang
Okay.
out with a person like that.
Okay. Well,
I agree.
you think it's wrong too, Emma?
Yeah, because I have multiple, I have female friends that have feelings for me, and I told them straight like I can't be your friend, and it would be upset about the situation. I could understand where Brody coming from.
I understand too.
I went through that a lot. That's why I don't got a lot of female friends. That's why I rather just why I just chill with my bros and that. Female only get one female friend, and that's Asia. So I could relate.
Yeah, because it's like that's just going to cause problems in the long run, in my opinion. But once
Okay.
again, that's just my opinion.
PJ, what you think?
Oh, well, all right.
Why he tightened his pants when he said that? Like, my man's crazy.
There's nothing wrong with tightening your pants.
my man said the Carl Winslow. That's
I
crazy.
agree with pieces and part of
Wait, hold
everybody's saying.
on. Biggie, I don't know what you
Let me
doing.
know.
I don't know what you doing over there, bro. But the moving and breathing, gotta cut it out.
What are you talking about?
There's a lot of feedback coming from your mic. I don't know if like you fixing your mic or something like that.
I got the.
All right, just get yourself situated. Go ahead, BJ.
I agree with little bits and pieces of what everybody's saying, but sadly, I have to come back to this one point. We can all do things on our end to help mitigate what we're expecting, because this person expects this. We did say the words, I don't expect this, but we all know inside everybody's head, people are egotistical. They know, they think to themselves, I'm gonna get that. You say that now, but you're gonna hit this once. I'm gonna look back at you and you're gonna be like, you know what? I changed my mind.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, BJ, yeah, hilarious.
That's what she thinking. That's what she
hilarious.
thinking. But I say, as long as you're honest and you did your part, for your personal safety, you should probably not. But if you choose to do it and you were honest, you're technically not at fault. But do keep in mind that even though it does come back to everybody's personal liberties in a way of being conscious of just what this person said, I have to be honest to it, because people will lie themselves to things are good. Let's say you had a good weekend, you only leave the condo or whatever for the whole 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, no church, no nothing. They're like, damn it, I got this in the bag. He's mine forever, she's mine forever. It's not, you're thinking that, but it's not the guarantee. And then when reality hits, she's like, well, it was fun, but I'm gonna go back to work, or I'm gonna go to the family reunion without you because you ain't nobody to me, really.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Let me simplify it, because I'm playing around too much. Yes, people are responsible for the way that they think, but it does help to at least give yourself a buffer of safety, personally.
Yeah.
So you don't have to. it's not the law. You didn't break any laws by doing what you're doing. If you were honest in the get-go and you got what you wanted because you're both consenting adults. But even though what you did wasn't illegal, you know the possibilities what this person might think.
Yeah.
And if those thoughts get crazy, she gonna put two in your back and run over you like I saw on Lifetime Chat.
I mean, I agree, but like I
it
definitely
happened. This chick shot this dude twice, ran him over, and she got like what 2.5 years in jail.
Oh no! I'm
She'll
not
never
saying
walk again.
I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm just saying I understand and get what y'all saying. I do. I mean, personally, I wouldn't continue it. What I was speaking for though, because personally I'm not continuing it. But what I'm speaking for though is I feel like if a person chooses to continue dealing with somebody after telling them multiple times that this is not going nowhere, whatever happens at that point is on you and is a self-indulge. If somebody warns you about what may happen if you keep doing this and it happens, I don't got sympathy for you, or I can't feel bad for you. You know, we all grew up with a hard head makes it soft behind. How many times do you have to say something and let it be known and you still choosing to deal with it? So that's what I'm saying for anybody, male or female, that's out there dealing with somebody and they have let you know that this ain't going nowhere. Take it as that. Now, if you still choose to mess with them, that's on you. But don't think anything sooner, or don't come to people, oh, they playing me or she playing me. No, she let you know what it is from the get-go, the absolute get-go. So that's how I feel about that, and we have a lot of situations like that. Now, on the other hand, if this person is letting you drag along and not letting you know and treating you as if you're their significant other, boyfriend and girlfriend, that is completely wrong. I don't agree with that. So that's what I'm saying. But I do get where everybody is coming from. So do I have any more questions? I'm gonna think of another question. Does anybody have anything, any topic they might want to bring up, or a question that they may have?
No
comment.
We better save it for
Sure,
another
let's put some
podcast.
controversy out here. How long should you be with somebody before you give them a ring for life?
Ooh,
I
that's
say,
Wow.
wow.
Mhm.
I said, ooh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
That's right.
shots right now.
I was gonna bring up parents or some shit. Do some rings.
Ooh.
Okay.
I still say minimum 5 years.
I can't really. Never mind.
Yeah, you go all the way to the left. We about to soccer kick you down the block.
No,
Jeez.
because I have my own opinion of it. It's like,
To be honest with you, it don't matter what time frame it is. To be honest with you, it don't.
because for me, right?
Yeah.
I've known my fiance for 8 or 9 years. I've only met her. I've only been around her for 2, and she has a ring.
Okay. I mean,
You see what I'm saying?
all I was gonna say was I'd
That
like
just
what.
sounds too crazy though.
Yeah, it's not really
That's what I'm
crazy.
saying.
But no, my thing is, because you said been with someone. I never been with her before 2 years ago. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know her thoughts, y'all talk, y'all communicate. That's so.
Yeah,
Even
so
though
it's
physically it's only 2 years, you gotta add those other 7 years.
But my thing is, what do you mean by how long do you have to be with a person?
Well, okay, like this. I disagree, but it was technically a successful one. My godmother knew her husband for maybe 2 months or less before he proposed, and they were together until he passed. So pretty much the rest of his life. That's successful. But then again, that was decades ago when people thought differently. I don't know if that shit would work out.
So my answer to your question, BJ, it depends on the people and where their mind is at.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. I was gonna say that it depends on the people. Like I would never put any amount of time on the world. Like it can't be days. Like if you
I got
can't,
time.
you
I got
can't.
time for it.
Yeah, but it's nothing wrong with that. But also, as long as your significant other understands that too, that you have a time frame that you feel or do.
I think after 4 years, it's safe. I'm not afraid to go lower, like 3 years. I think 2 years is too soon, but 4 years, anytime after that is a safe number, in my opinion.
Okay.
So I didn't do a good number, huh?
That's the thing. Don't listen. I count your 7 years. That's significant. The physical and the mental, which you guys had, you had 2 physical, and you were going out there. It's little bits and times, so it's not just
Bro,
2 years, it's more than that. But
I went out there one time, and then I proposed to her the second time I came out here.
after slowing her, no, nigga, don't listen.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but he's
9
kind
years
of
is
he's
fantastic.
You build
They don't know
mental.
each other.
You build mental and emotional relationship with her.
he's saying you
Physical-
already knew her though, bro. Like you
My
knew.
my next one I'm doing 2 weeks in.
This man, wow. He pretty much what he said. He gonna get him a bad IG model,
Right?
and Mario just Mario off with that.
She gonna leave you take half of everything. Jesus Christ.
This man off of that. I mean,
It used to be a time frame for me, but it's more so if both of you are happy, you're mentally and connecting on shit like that, then why does it matter?
true.
It does matter.
You know, you don't gotta worry about, the naysayers and shit like that. As long as both of y'all are happy, why does it matter?
So let me ask you this: what made you change from the time frame to that, though? I want to know what was the change, because that's a big change to go from time frame to like, okay, it's this now. So what was that change?
I just came to realize, man, as long as both of y'all are happy, why does it matter?
Can I say why?
Go ahead.
If marriage was just love, then it wouldn't matter. But it's a contract. It's a contract that historically, if done wrong, will fuck the man in the ass and destroy him. So yes, love is a part of it. Love is beautiful. It's cute. The children, legacies, wealth, generationally. That's all the things that marriage leads to. But if you go into a contract with someone that you don't trust, that you haven't vetted long enough, which is why I say 4 years, because you have to vet that person. Now, can I do it shorter than that? Sure, if there's a catalyst in between, it's like, yo, this is just crazy. This chick is everything I was looking for, and whatever. But okay, you meet this chick 1 weekend in Coachella, you performing, whatever. Y'all have a fun time. 2 weeks later, she comes out. Let's say yo not from the same place. She comes out to New York. Yo hanging out.
Hold on.
This is the happiest
I'm
you've ever
gonna
been in.
head out, y'all.
Anything,
Alright,
later,
bro.
later, bro. But
Let's say she comes. Whatever.
like you about to go into a long story. I get what you're saying.
No, it's a short story.
But
It is it.
I get what you're saying. But what I'm going to say as far as that though, like I do kind of agree with what he is saying though, because this goes back into what we were talking about earlier. If you have true happiness within yourself, and she has true happiness within herself, and y'all together build on that happiness, it don't have to necessarily be any amount of time. Now, if your happiness in your relationship, because I'm not even just going to talk about love, because love is a whole separate thing to me. But as far as like your happiness with each other, if your happiness is built upon each other, then y'all will never make it through those bad times. So y'all can't even decide to get on getting married. A lot of times people, like we said earlier, don't realize that their happiness is built on that other person instead of built within themselves. So you can't get married to somebody if your happiness is built on whether they treating you right or wrong. So, but if you are happy within yourself, have dealt and can live with the problems that you have, and you meet somebody else like that, it could be any amount of time.
Yeah, cause I met this dude. He proposed to his girl within 6 months, and 10 years later, they're good with 3 kids.
You have people that met their significant other for, like you said, like 2-3 months, and then they're 50 years together, like 30 years together. I don't put a stunted time on it. You just have to be, have to be secure within you. I got a good question. Has social media destroyed relationships?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
I can say half of my
sorry,
relationships
yes.
destroyed social media because people is just start assuming. People like my ex was that I'm cheating on her. I never cheated on her at all. But like I said, plus it's not even that. It's not even that. Also, the people around you that post shit too.
Yep, I was about to say that. It's the shit that they see on social media. They're like, oh, you're not doing that.
Yep.
How come? So I can't be with you, but this nigga over here, he's doing that though. So I'm gonna be with him. So it's what they see on social media that gasses their head up. No problem. And that's why most of those people end up single anyways, but I'm not gonna get deep into that, but
what I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna say
followers.
I'm gonna say no.
Too.
And this is why I say no. Only reason why I say no, it's like a no and yes, but I'm leaning a little bit more towards no. It's like a no and yes because people let social media destroy their relationships. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be social media. Like somebody will let the slightest little things destroy the relationship. I feel like anything can destroy your relationship if you let it. Almost anything. And people let what they consume destroy their relationships. Back in the day growing up, we all remember with the Nokias and the Motorola Razors, there was no such thing as social media. MySpace just had got popping. And the only thing people were putting up there were videos, songs, and shit like that. So social media wasn't destroying relationships then, but relationships were still being destroyed while we grew up. People that would ever come in and influence their relationship, whatever they consume, automatically influences their relationships, and we just consume social media a lot more than what we did in the past. So anything we consume destroys relationships, and it's because we allow it to. We allow ourselves to be influenced about what Tom and Sally is doing, about how somebody is supposed to act, how I'm supposed to act, how I'm supposed to be. Where a relationship is based on you and that person, it is no proper way to have a relationship. It's no proper way whatsoever. And we let life dictate that. So that's why I'm gonna say no. Like, I don't think social media destroys relationship. We as people just allow it to. So anybody got any more questions? Anything?
Not really.
All right. So I think for the first episode or the first podcast, it was a decent little podcast. Is We have Elmo, man, Biggie. He go
I
by
got
like.
a question.
Oh, okay. We
Oh,
got one more.
shit.
We got one more question.
Shut the fuck up.
We'll get just one last question and then we'll be out. All right. Go
I've been
ahead.
hearing this bullshit for a while now about this whole thing that only true relationships can survive this whole cabin fever, lockdown, COVID-19 thing. So the question is it true that only those who are not having an issue being together in close quarters 24 hours a day, sometimes due to this virus, are those the true relationships that actually matter? Or are those who sometimes need space to themselves, do they still count as having a fruitful and beneficial relationship, just like those who have no issues being together?
Wait,
Don't all answer at once.
wait. You kind of confused me. What's
Okay.
the question?
Let's try this again. Let me dumb it down. My bad. I apologize. I forgot. Niggas in this party. All right. So, pandemic. We're all in close quarters.
Yeah.
Couples over couples, parents with their kids. If me and my girl were together all day, we don't have an issue. But you and your girl, you're together all day, and you know y'all are fighting more, gets a bit more irritable and all that. Does that mean there's an issue with your relationship, or is it just cabin fever? I want to go outside. I'm tired of being inside all day. Is there any merit to these accusations people are making?
What I'm gonna say is it all depends on that. All depends on that relationship. You may necessarily have problems in a relationship. I can't sit and speak. It depends on the relationship. People tend to like to give a general term or general situation, and this is what it equals. And that's not how relationship goes. Like I just said, there's no right or wrong to a relationship. And just because these two are arguing, don't mean that they're having a bad relationship. Honestly, I'm surprised if it don't matter who you are. If I'm here all day with you all the time, we gonna argue about something. So
No, we gonna scrap.
yeah, like something's bound to happen. If you and your girl is good all the time, while sitting in the house together for long periods of time,
She the
especially
Antichrist.
while something going on, somebody the Antichrist or somebody with somebody else. So
I watched 12 seasons of Real World. I know that.
I expect, that's the thing. We as people have to stop thinking as soon as the argument happens, it's the end of the relationship or it's almost over. You're going to have arguments with anybody who isn't you. And last time I checked, we all are just one person. Like, you're not going to agree with anybody all the time. You are going to bump heads. People who are true friends and who truly have love for each other argue. It's what happens. So, what do you think is going to happen when we're forced to be inside all the time? People can't even work. So it's bound. That is bound to happen. So yeah,
We'll say this on the subject, since no one else is saying nothing. I gave time. Agree with you. You should be able to be able to spend time with somebody, and I think that before people do get married, they should also add living together to a list of pretexts. Like at least 6 months. Like, can I stand being with this person in close quarters for a couple hours a day? The answer is yes. Then you're good. But yeah, all the time, there are parents who are telling me all the time, "Oh my God, I wish I could send my kids to school." And I know they love their kids. It's just you were used to one thing. Nah, he just trying to suckle at age 10, and you like, what's wrong with this picture here? So I get it. It's understandable.
yeah. I get it. So
But that's it for me for questions.
Alright, we're gonna pretty much wrap it up here. That was a great talk. We had Biggie, Elmo, BJ. We had my bro Michael, and we had Kid come through. All give our opinions on relationships. If this is a topic that people want to hear again, just give me the feedback about it. We definitely talk about it again. If people end up having questions, they can always put it on the bottom of the video when I upload it to YouTube or even on Twitch. So I appreciate everybody for coming through that did come through. Appreciate all of y'all in here and all of y'all that was in here for giving your responses and doing this podcast with me. We would definitely be doing this again. We'll have a different topic. We got plenty of time, and right now we about to close the lounge. So later, y'all. Lounge is